Hello, everybody. My name is Danny Wells, and I'm here to tell you a little bit about how my life completely and utterly changed 10 years ago after I had my career in ophthalmology, working for Specsavers, loved it, thought I would stay there until retirement. And then our second daughter had a stroke and a brain hemorrhage, and it literally pulled the rug from beneath us. Literally, overnight, she was in hospital and my income was gone. I was in hospital with her for a year. It was just absolute madness and franticness. And we were at a point in our lives where I don't know if you've ever felt like this, might not be a hospital experience, but have you ever felt like you're just going along in life and everything's just hunky-dory, it is how it is, and then all of a sudden like that, something happens and it is like the rug's been pulled beneath you. The only way I can liken it is to like COVID. You know how one day everything was fine and then COVID happened and everybody's life just changed. So that's what happened to us. And we did not have any kind of backup plan. So you know how some people are like, if my main job was to go overnight like that because of a medical injury, I fell down the stairs and broke my back, or the job's gone, or whatever. If your job was to go tomorrow, gone, how long can you live on your savings? And for us, we didn't have any savings. So the fact that my income was gone overnight meant that my husband was having to work double to bring in that extra money. We had a sick daughter in hospital, we had another daughter, and it was absolute mayhem. So what happened? Well, when I was in hospital with my daughter, who had had her stroke and brain hemorrhage, I was looking for a way to still make money and to still have a bit of myself as well. Because if you're a parent, like you probably like me, love being a parent. I've now got four wonderful daughters, but I felt like I still needed something that was me, that wasn't just mum. So while I was in hospital, I was actively looking for something, but all the kind of businesses that I looked at either required heavy investment of money to get involved with like property, stocks and shares. I didn't have that money, or they required a lot of skill, like writing a screenplay, writing music, teaching another language. I didn't have skills, so I didn't have the money, didn't have the skills. So I'm just your typical average person. So I was looking for a business to be able to roll up my sleeves, work from hospital, work from my phone, make money, not be on government support and benefits anymore, which is where we were at that time. And I wanted to be off there as quickly as possible. And I actually came across Arbonne, and I'm going to share with you what I learned, what was shared with me. And it completely and utterly blew me away. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about the Arbonne story. So Arbonne actually started nearly 45 years ago, 1975. A man called Peter Mork actually created Arbonne, and his story was what hooked me. I was in as soon as I heard it. So this man was raised as he was raised by a single mum who had four children. And she was out trying to make ends meet, working multiple different jobs just to put food on the table. And as a kid, he grew up watching his single mum busting her gut and decided, when I grow up, I'm going to create some, he had this dream, I'm going to create a business, or I don't know how his childlike mind worked, but I'm going to make a job which means that women can still be at home with their children, work, but kind of have the best of both worlds. Now, he didn't know what that was going to mean, but he had this vision to enable women to work, make money, but still be at home with their kids and not be missing out. So, as he grew up, he actually trained as a botanist. He worked with plants, and he actually became one of the most successful botanists in the world. And he ended up working for a company called Procter and Gamble, which you've probably heard of now because they're in and out of court. But back in, 60, 70 years ago, they were a company that he worked for, and he worked for one of the head positions creating the products. But he was very anti what was going on. He could see that they were a very profit driven company and not about people. They were putting all kinds of toxins in, which he knew and the company knew were going to cause people long-term health problems, which obviously we know now, like with talcum powder and Johnson's, etc. But back in, say, like 1950, 1960, that wasn't well known, but he knew. And he actually decided to walk away from this really well-paid job and create the first company that was clean, that made products, household products for people, that was clean, plant-based, and actually did good and wasn't harmful like all the other companies out there were. He actually created recyclable materials before recyclable materials was even a thing. Like, that's how big it was. He decided that his products were going to be so clean they wouldn't be able to go in sell in a shop because they can't have a shelf life of 7 years, which is what's required with shop bought products. So he was like, they're not going to be sold in a shop. We're not going to pay for advertising. And when products go through the shop, 50% of what you pay is just the retail cost. So he was like, I don't want all these added costs putting on. I don't want to make a shampoo that costs £5 to make, and by the time it's bought by the end consumer, it's cost them £70 because that's the markup. 80-90% is the markup that the consumer has to pay for. He was like, I don't want that. So he was like, I literally want my products to be like farm to table. So if you went to the farm and you got your carrots and you brought them home, he was like, that's how I want Arbonne to be, from farm to table. I want them to be made and delivered straight to the end user, the customer, none of this middle process. So he decided to use word of mouth referrals, network marketing, to grow his company. And there's only 10 companies that have been around using the network marketing model that are past the 10 years. I kind of think what the word is. So this company's been around for 45 years, which is just amazing. Sorry, I lost my way a little bit there. Right, so we have got over 500 products, from skincare to nutrition to personal care to makeup. And as a business, when I was looking at this, I knew I wanted consumable products. I knew I wanted a customer base of people that they're going to use the products and reorder. You can go and sell thermomixes, for example. I've got one there and I love it. But how often do you replace a kitchen gadget like that? I've had mine for about 7 years. Or say if you sold TVs are great. Most people have one, but how often are they reordered? So if you're going to get into business, you want to be selling something which people are going to reorder time and time again. So Arbonne are all consumable products. We have all the stamps you could imagine. We do not use any toxins. So I think in America they ban 8 toxins in products. We ban over 2,000. We have such a strict ingredients policy. Nobody has even comes close to the ingredients policy that we have of what we won't use. We are certified a B Corporation, which is very, very, very hard to get the B Corp stamp, and you have to be retested every 2 years. You have to show that you're doing good for your customers, for the people that work with Arbonne, for the environment, and we have obtained that stamp every single 2 years that we've been tested, which is amazing. It just speaks volumes for how clean we are as a company. We're also the highest scoring B Corp company under the B Corp umbrella in the health and wellness industry, which is very exciting. So when your products work from moved through network marketing, what happens with a traditional retail product, if you decided that you were going to create a product line and you were going to sell it, if you sold it through the traditional retail route, your product, let's say it cost 3p to make, you would then have to increase that price to probably £1 to pay for the manufacturer. And not to mention the fact that you want to make a profit. So you've got to add another £1 on. Then you've got to pay for the lorry driver to drive it to the wholesaler, add another £1 on. You've got to pay for the wholesaler, and while it's there, the utilities, insurances, add another £1 on. You've got to pay for the lorry driver to take it to the warehouse, add another £1 on. You've got to pay for the sales force, and by the time it gets to the retailers, it doubles in price anyway. It goes up 50%. So by the time you've made that 3p shampoo, it's selling to the customer for over £10, but they're not actually paying for the ingredients. They're paying for the middle process. Whereas in network marketing, you pay for the ingredients. That's it. Bottom line. That's why we have products such as our night cream, which sells for about £70. They actually use that in Harrods Spa. And when their customers were having their facials and using this, they're like, oh my gosh, that product is amazing. What is it? How do I buy it? They actually sold it, but because they sold it through the retail route, they used to sell it for over £450 for the same product. But the reason why they had to stop selling it is because people realized they could buy it through the Arbonne network marketing routes. They could buy it from a consultant for a fraction of the price. So it's still used actually in treatments, but people just buy it through an Arbonne representative, which is amazing. Oh, I'm going the wrong way. Sorry. Right. So there we go. Right. I'm going to tell you about how the business actually grows. So when you decide, right, I'm going to do this. If the rug gets pulled from beneath me tomorrow, I've got this and I'm going to be all good. We've got an income coming in from Arbonne. But how does it actually work? You buy your own franchise, which is about £70 a year. Obviously, we're in different countries, so just double check the currency in your country. We encourage people to have about 10 clients and literally roll out the red carpet for your customers. People that are going to come to you and they're going to say, what would you recommend for bloating? What would you recommend for my skin? What would you recommend for my health, etc., etc. And you get paid every single week from your client orders. So the average weekly income from an Arbonne consultant is about £250 a week. So just a little bit of extra fun money, or if that helps with like mortgage interest rate increases, or paying for utilities, or whatever that is. If you decide that you want to extend your business further and coach and train other consultants, you can go into the teaching part of Arbonne. You don't have to, it's optional, but let's say you do. You decide, right, I'm going to train 5 people to also have 10 customers each and do exactly what I do. And I'm going to be on hand to answer any questions, to support them, to cheer them along the finish line. Those people that you introduce to Arbonne, we call it sponsoring somebody. So you're their sponsor and you've sponsored them into Arbonne. They are your first generation. Now, this is similar to having children. So it's like having 5 children and you're raising them and you're teaching them the way until they feel like they can fly the nest and they're completely independent of you. If your children decide that they want to also teach and they introduce 5 people each, they basically do exactly what you do, you're going to have grandchildren. Now, your grandchildren are your second generation. Now, even though you only introduced 5 people, because they've all gone and replicated what you did, you've now got 25 more people in your team. So 25 grandchildren. Now, let's say they do exactly the same. So you've now got great grandchildren. Everybody's just sponsoring 5 people at this point, which is so simple. So in your third generation, you now have 125 great grandchildren. And I'm just going to go one step further and go to fourth generation. So this is your great great grandchildren. Your fourth generation has 625 people, and everybody here is in your business, in your team. You can obviously grow this further, but I'm just going to keep it at 4 generations. So you've got you've got your first generation, which is your children. These are the people that you work the most closely with. Your second generation, your grandchildren. So you still are involved with your grandchildren, but your children tend to be the most heavily involved with them. Then you've got your great grandchildren, and then your great great grandchildren, your fourth generation. So what we're going to do is we're going to add up. If this was your team, if you decided you were going to do this tomorrow and you spent the next year building, and this is what happened, let's add up and see where your business would be. So you've got your 5 people that you're working with. They introduce 5 people each, which means you've got 25 people in your second generation, or grandchildren, if you like. And then in your third generation, you've got 125 people. And then in your fourth generation, great great grandchildren, you've got 625 people. So if we were to add all of those people up, that means you've got a team of 780 people, or 780 family members, if you like. If everybody has £100 each running through their shop, and I know that seems really low, like 2 products a month, but just to keep this really simple, if everyone's shop sells £100 each a month, that's 780 people in your team selling £100 each a month. The turnover in your business is £78,000 for the month. £78,000 of turnover through your business. Now, you earn anywhere between 1 and 18% from your team members' work, and you don't take anything from them. They get paid their full 35%, which you do from your customer base. Everybody gets paid their full 35% from Arbonne, from their customer base. But because you're saving Arbonne billions of pounds on not paying for training, like a lot of companies, 50% of their revenue is usually going on teaching and training their staff, because you save Arbonne so much money, they pay you between 1 and 18% based on the turnover running through the business. And you increase that percentage by gaining knowledge and experience in Arbonne. So let's just say you earn 10%, somewhere in the middle. If you earn 10% a month from your whole business turnover, that's £7,800 a month, plus your weekly commissions from your own customers. I mean, this is where I was like, if I wasn't already in, I'm in again. So that's how we get paid on 780 hours a day, despite there only being 24 hours a day. Everyone just works 1 hour, but we get paid for the value that we bring. So I'm just going to talk about the 4 levels in Arbonne. I love everybody starts off at the same point, an independent consultant. So nobody can come in and be at a different level, or if they've got more experience, you can't jump a rank. You have to work your way up. So everybody starts independent consultant. You get paid 35% of weekly commissions from your client orders. You can opt into incentive trips. Now, although there aren't targets in Arbonne, you can choose to opt into optional incentive trips. So I've been on, I think, 36 incentive trips with Arbonne, which are paid for 2 people. You can pay an additional cost to add your children on if you want. So the last trip was Dubai, and we went as a family of 6, and we just paid for our little children to come. I think the little 2 were free actually, but we paid for our teenage daughters to come. We had such a great time as a family of 6, and I've actually just earned the next trip to Dubai, Atlantis on the Palm, which is just I'm so looking forward to it. Anyway, I digress. So anybody can earn the incentive trips. They are target driven and they're optional. You also opt into special gifts and recognition. Right. When your business turns over £2,500 a month, you promote to level one, district manager. At the district manager level, you get everything that I've already said, plus you're earning about £500 a month on average. And you also get an extra cash bonus every month of £125, which is target driven, that one. Then you've got level two, area manager. This is where your business is roughly turning over £10,000 a month. You get everything I've already said, plus you're earning about £1,000 a month on average here. You can opt into earning a £250 monthly extra cash bonus, and your business is willable at this point. I know people that have got to this level in 2 months from starting their business. For me, it took 6 months. Level three is regional vice president, everything above, plus you get about £5,000 a month on average. And you also get an extra cash bonus of £375 a month, which is target driven. And you also get a Mercedes. If you don't drive, you can just have the cash instead. So that's an extra monthly cash bonus towards a Mercedes or car of your choice, or just have the money. Then you've got level four, which is the top level in Arbonne. You get paid everything above, but then you get paid about £10,000 a month on average. Plus, you also get a Maui annual incentive trip paid for two every January. You get a Las Vegas annual incentive trip paid for two, and an additional MVP challenge trip paid for two. So for me, it took me 4 years to get to the top level. But I know people that have done it in 6 months. So it's a level playing field, whatever your preference is. So at the minute, Arbonne have been around for 45 years, and we're in the USA, Canada, the UK, Poland, Australia, and New Zealand. And all the grey is where we're going. So exciting. In the UK, this is a demographic of where people are in the UK at the 4 levels of promotion. So I'm based in the pink, which is East Midlands. Very exciting. And then that's basically it. But I just want to say, when I first looked into this, I was a little bit hesitant as to could I actually make this work? Did I know enough people? Did I have the skills to be able to talk about these products with people? I had so many concerns and worries. But actually, I really started to realize that if I didn't make a change in my life was going to carry on the same. And I was so fed up with being on government benefits because I've always been a worker, right from being like 11. I had a paper round, I was babysitting, I was cleaning. Like, I've always been a grafter, I've always been a worker. So to find myself in adult life without a job through no fault of my own, my daughter was sick and she needed full-time care, was a really difficult time in my life. And although I was grateful that the government gave us benefits to just support us through that period of time, my goal was to ring up tax credits and tell them, thank you so much, but you need to give this money to somebody that really needs it, because I am capable of working. And I know there's people out there that are not capable of working and they need to be on benefits. That is absolutely fine. But for me, I was like, I'm taking this money from somebody that really needs it, because actually I am capable. So I started this business because I knew I was capable. I didn't want to stay on benefits and take that from somebody else that really needs it. I was like, I can do this. I can learn about the products. I can advise people. I can help people. I knew that I was quite happy to recommend movies, to recommend restaurants that I'd been to. So why not talk about the products that I was using and recommend them to other people? And do you know what actually happened? When I first started this business, which was over 10 years ago, one of the big reasons I started this business was because my 2 daughters at the time had really bad eczema. And somebody had said that the Arbonne products were really good for helping with skin issues. So I decided that I was going to buy my own franchise with Arbonne. The first products that I was going to buy were going to be the kids' hair and body wash. And I love the idea of being self-employed and being able to tax deduct products like this, being able to use these products and have this tax deductible expense. And I know a lot of people that do Arbonne and they don't build a big business. They just love the tax side of it, which is great. So I loved that. I was like, right, I'm going to get these kids' products and hopefully it's going to work. And I actually stopped in my tracks, because when I was on the website, I put my franchise in, which I think was like £75 or something, and I got a free box of fizz sticks or something like that. And then I went to go and add the kids' hair and body wash, and I believe it was about £20. Now, £20 for one product probably doesn't sound like a lot to some people, but for me, I was used to buying Johnson's and Johnson's £1 every week. And, going from £1 to £20 is a big jump. So I remember saying to the girl that introduced me, like, oh, I'm not sure about this. And she said to me, well, if you buy this product and it works, is it worth it? Now, being a parent that had battled with my daughter's eczema for years and having gone back and forth to the GP and used different prescriptions and different products, that some of them temporarily worked, but they didn't work on the long term. Long term, it would always be back. I didn't even need to think about it. I was like, of course, I'd spend more than that. If this actually works, I'd spend over £100 if it actually worked. But I was like, I don't want to spend £20 on it not. Like, I'm sick of putting products in a drawer because I've bought it and it doesn't actually deliver the results. And she said to me, this changed my stance. She said to me, if you buy it and it doesn't work, Arbonne actually honour a full 90 days money back guarantee on all of their products. Even if somebody buys their product and they use half of it, they use all of it within 3 months, if they don't get the results or they don't see the value in what they've spent, you actually can send the empty packaging back and get a full refund. I'd never heard of a company that did this. And the fact that they were willing to do that, that kind of business strategy, I was like, they must really believe in their products. And I know now, because I do Arbonne, they don't even employ somebody to do returns because they have so few. They have so few returns that somebody just does it as a little side thing. I think like maybe once a month they'll like go and like do a return of like a color that's a foundation color that's wrong or whatever. It's so rare that they do get returns. They don't even employ somebody. That blows my mind. Anyway, so I was like, right, I'm going to order it. So I ordered this £20 kids hand body wash. It came the next day. I used it on my kids. Within 3 days, their eczema cleared up, never to be seen again. Like that just blew my mind. But then because of this, what happened was I went on the school run and a couple of the school mums collared me. I said, Danny, the girl's skin, like the girl's skin's really cleared up. What's going on? And I obviously was brand new in Arbonne. So I think I said something along the lines of, oh, I've started using this product from Switzerland. It's called Arbonne. It's been around for 45 years. It's clean, it's vegan, it's gluten-free. Like, I don't think I really knew what I was talking about. But then they were like, well, it's obviously worked. So we need to buy it. Where do we get it from? And I was like, oh, you can't buy it. Can't buy it from, you cannot buy it anywhere. You can only buy it from somebody that is a rep with Arbonne that has a franchise. That's the only way you can buy it. And they were like, oh, I was like, but don't worry. I'm a rep. I joined 2 days ago. And they were like, great, send me your website link. So I went home, I sent them my website link, and a couple of them went onto my website. They bought the products. I didn't take any money, pay for it online. They were delivered straight to their door. So I didn't do any delivering, none of that. There was no money exchange there. And I got paid the following week. And I think my first paycheck with Arbonne was like £12.50. Now, my husband thought that was the funniest thing ever, but I was elated. I was actually making money after a year of not making any money, being on benefits. I was like, oh my gosh, this is working. This is so exciting. But then what happened was one of those women, her next door neighbor, saw the results that she was having with the products. I said, oh, what's going on here? And she said, oh, one of the school mums sold me this product, blah, blah, blah. And this next door neighbor, stranger to me, went onto my website and ordered products from my shop. And I got paid a commission from that stranger's order. So when I first was looking at Arbonne and I was concerned I didn't know enough people, this is what happens. Now, obviously, that stranger, I then messaged her and was like, thank you so much for your order. My name is Danni. And we became friends. But initially, she was a stranger. She got results on the product, went to work. One of the work friends asked her what she was drinking because she got some free fizz sticks. She was like, oh, it's these B vitamin drinks. Like, I've cut out coffee. Like, it's so much healthier for me. I'm feeling so good now. They went onto my website and ordered fizz sticks from my website. This stranger. Then it gets even better. I obviously got paid a commission on that as well. Sent them a message. Thank you so much. Then their sister in Australia, chat. The sister went onto my Arbonne website in Australia. I live in the UK. Ordered products. I got this ping on my phone to say that somebody in Australia placed this order on my website and I've been paid, I don't know, like £20 or something from it. I was like, I don't even know in Australia. What's all this about? She then went on to have success with the products and started telling her work friends. And people in Australia started ordering these products. And then one of them knew somebody in New Zealand. I was like, oh my gosh, my phone's completely pinging. I had probably like 20 strangers ordering products. Of course, those strangers became my friends because I was like, thank you so much. Like, my name's Danni, add me on Facebook. But the point is, you don't actually need to know many people for your business to start to take off. As long as you're good at what you do and you're friendly and you're kind, and your products are working for them. And I always say to my customers, if these products don't work for you, we're going to get your full money back guarantee. Like, absolutely, I'm all about that. I'm not having you wasting your money. So this business absolutely changed our lives. Within a year, I'd rang tax credits, off benefits. We were able to buy our first home, which we'd been renting a two up, two down for 13 years, could not get on the property ladder. We were able to put all my Arbonne money to one side and we were able to buy our dream home. The first house we bought was our dream home. And then we went on to have two more children because we could. Before, we didn't have the money or the time to have any more to expand our family. But because of Arbonne, we've been able to expand our family and have two more children. My husband was able to leave his job and set up his own business, working part-time. He was able to be present at the kids' school events. Every time my daughter was rushed into hospital, she had her mum and her dad there. It absolutely changed our lives. It's changed my confidence. It's changed my self-worth. It's changed my like I've still got the same friends that I had then, but I've got so many more friends. And I do think as an adult, it's quite hard to make friends. So because of Arbonne, I've got all of these friends around me, like in person, but also virtually on like our team chat on Facebook. And it's just been the biggest blessing in my life. My only regret is I wish I'd heard about it when I was 18 and I left school to do this instead of spending all my years training in ophthalmology and grafting for somebody else's business. I love that now I graft for my own business. I'm building my own success. And because this is willable, what I'm building is going to be willed onto my children and my grandchildren and my great grandchildren up to six generations deep. I won't even meet my sixth generation deep down, but they're going to get the money that I'm building from this. And they're going to know me as great, great, great granny Danny that it's got a ring to it that has that built this Arbonne business that gives them this inheritance. So, if you build this, you're building this for your sixth generation deep. I mean, what's that? You've got children, grandchildren, great grandchildren, great great grandchildren. Oh my gosh, I can't even work out what that is. So, all I would say is just join, just jump in and join because it is the most incredible adrenaline rush, endorphin hit, endorphin hit, endorphin hit. If you need a way to get constant endorphin hits, this is it. Free endorphin hits. It's the most fun, incredible, incredible business. And I absolutely love it. I would love you to be part of the team.